everybody, welcome back to BeamNG's Bradenton Motorsports Park. In the last few episodes, I've shared the builds and setups for the fastest drag versions of most of the cars in the game, without the use of any game mods. In this episode, I plan to do the same with the game's many front-wheel drive only vehicles, but a funny thing happened during the building of these cars. I discovered that almost all of the cars I thought were front-wheel drive only actually come with all the parts needed to create rear-wheel drive versions as well. So that's exactly what I did, and these are the cars I'll be bringing you today. As with the rest of this series from here at Bradenton, I'll be sharing the entire build and setup information for those of you wanting to try any of these for yourself. So grab a pen and a paper or get ready to get some screenshots, because once we get going, we're going to move along pretty quickly again. All the cars tonight will be following the same simple rules as all the other cars in this series. The cars must have all the exterior body parts, including fenders, doors and windows, hood and trunk, front and rear bumpers, a driver's seat, and most importantly, no game mods allowed. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to hit the thumbs up to remind YouTube it's some pretty good shit. If this is the kind of thing you're into, subscribe to the channel for more. If you're trying any of this for yourself, let me know in the comments how it works out for you. Okay, let's get right into it with the first car of the night, and this one came as quite a disappointment to me. This is the Bruckell LeGran. It's clearly inspired by the real-life Buick Grand National. It comes with a similar 3.8 liter V6, only unlike the real car, this one is supercharged instead of using a turbo. The disappointment comes from how fragile the whole thing is and how few performance options are available for a game version of what was one of the standout muscle cars of its time, and the car for which the term sleeper was practically invented. While many engines in this game are capable of 4-digit horsepower numbers, this one tops out at 800 horsepower with nitrous before self-destructing. There you have it. The disappointing Bruckell LeGran runs a 9.932 at 139 miles per hour, making it about as quick as the real cars would go out of the factory with some turbo tuning or a little squirt of nitrous. Great for an off-the-showroom floor car of the 80s. Not so much for a significantly lightened and tuned up game car on the edge of self-destruction. I would have loved to see this car somewhere near the top of the list. To see it on the bottom is a bit sad. Coming out next is the Solad Windover. This budget business class beauty is packing a 4.4 liter supercharged V8 shifted with a 6-speed sequential transmission, making 1650 horsepower and weighs in slightly less than a dump truck at 3,567 pounds. While most of the cars I built for this list either run a supercharger or turbo with the addition of as much nitrous as I can get away with, there are a couple engines that just won't take it, and you can never actually run enough to be worth carrying the weight. This car uses one of those engines. That said, for something I never would have expected to make much of a drag car from, this one surprised me. How about an 8.332 171 miles per hour for the Solad Windover? Good enough for number 15 on the list for now, and much better than the LeGran. Time to bring on a couple imports, starting with the Ibishu Pessima. This boxy little thing packs a 2-liter dual overhead cam inline 4, turbocharged on nitrous, makes almost 1,300 horsepower, and weighs in at 2,841 pounds. This car would have been included in the Fast Imports video had I realized the rear-wheel driven version was possible, but here it is now, so better late than never I suppose. Let's see how it compares to the others. 8.083 at 178 miles per hour. Not the quickest of the imports, but not too bad, and good enough for number 15 on the list. Here we go with another Ibishu, this time the mid-engine Ibishu Covet. This thing gets a lot from a little. It comes with a 1.5 liter dual overhead cam inline 4 turbocharged on nitrous that makes 769 horsepower with gears shifted to a racing 5-speed sequential transmission. There are options for other engines for this car, but the mid-engine configuration is the only one that allows a rear-wheel drive build. Other engines sit in the front and are only usable with front-wheel drive. The Covet runs an 8.233, 164 miles per hour. That's good for number 16 on the list. Slowest of the Ibishu products so far, but not bad for what it is. Okay, on to our final car of the day, and one that was only included after I decided to make this video using more rear-wheel driven vehicles, and in hindsight, should have been a part of the Best of Europe episode, because boy is this a good one. This is the Autobella Piccolina. Translated, that means nice car, little one. Really. I brought this out in hippie attire a couple times on the channel before, but since then, a funny thing happened. The BeamNG gods have granted us not one, but 2 turbochargers for its 2.5 liter F4 engine. With the addition of lots of nitrous, this thing makes over 1200 horsepower now and weighs in at just 1846 pounds, making it by far the lightest car on this list, and one of the most fun to drive. It does technically break the rules a bit, however, because during the build you get a choice between running a rear bumper or fitting wheelie bars. After messing around a bit, I decided fuck it, let's go with the wheelie bars. I don't regret that. Since the proper front drag tires for these cars only come with 15-inch 5-bolt rims that require the off-road suspension for this, fitting those raises the car so high that the wheelie bars only really function to keep the car from flipping over backwards. Because of that, the next best option was appropriately sized racing slicks used for road course racing. The difference is far less stability and control at extreme speeds. Because of that, I've never been able to actually bring the car back under control after making a full quarter-mile pass. All that said, if you play BeamNG, you need to try this car. After a successful run with a nearly survivable finish, the Autobella Piccolina ran a 7.599 at 197 miles per hour, mostly on two wheels. That puts a nice car, little one, number 10 on the list of fastest unmodded drag cars in the game BeamNG. And on that bombshell, thank you all for watching, keep hitting your own damn lane, and we'll see you next time.